Welcome to Catalyst Conversations, the podcast where we spark powerful change in women's wealth. I'm Hadriana Leo, a wealth coach, counselor, and strategist, and each week we dive into the conversations, strategies, and stories that help women confidently create the life they've always dreamed of. So grab your favorite bevy, settle in, and let's get started on transforming your relationship with money. This is Catalyst Conversations, igniting change in women's wealth. Let's spark the conversation. Hey there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Catalyst Conversations. I have with me a wonderful guest that I know you're going to enjoy. Tina Spoletini is here, and she's going to tell us a lot about what she's doing, how she's helping people. But for now, hi, Tina.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing marvelous. Well, truth be told, I'm a little cool today, a little bit on the chilly side, but I'm doing very well. How about you on your end?
Yeah, I'm good. It's warm here today. I'm in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, so you know, the weather is not quite like where you are, but it's nice today.
There you go. And these are not words that usually go together. Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and it's warm today.
Yeah.
They don't usually go together, but I'm so happy you're taking the time to do this with me. And I know that our guests are going to really enjoy this conversation. But let's start with a favorite phrase that you've got, a mantra, something, a quote, or what have you, something that really resonates with you. What is that quote for you?
Yeah, I always love the best thing the best thing any woman can wear is confidence.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The best thing any woman can wear is confidence. Now, that in my mind, that packs a punch. How does that resonate with you?
Well, okay, so I love clothes.
Mhm.
I love to dress up. I love to put jewelry and, not necessarily makeup, but I love to dress up when I go out. And it comes down to I can put on some of I won't say ugly because I don't think I wear ugly clothes, but I can put any outfit on, right? But what
Mhm.
I feel inside is what makes that outfit so awesome to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. It's almost like the ultimate accessory, confidence. That one thing, if you had to ensure that, there's some of us, we don't leave home without mascara. At the minimum, you put mascara. Or some would say at the very minimum, I must have some lip. But I think the minimum should be confidence, like you said. So if all of us can have that one strong article in our closets ready to go every time, I choose confidence. But the truth is, it doesn't always come along with us, right?
No, no, it doesn't. And one thing, okay, so I'm gonna go back to when I was a child.
Hmm.
I was always overweight. And
Hmm.
I grew up in the 80s, and plus size clothing was not easy to find. And
Right. And
so,
expensive.
and expensive. And I mean, my parents didn't have a ton of money. And really in that at that time, most of the generation that were, or most of the population that was overweight and plus size, they were like old women,
Hmm.
right? Like my grandma's
Yes.
age. And
Yes.
so often my mom used to bring me to the stores where my grandma would shop
Oh
because
dear.
we could find the clothes that fit me, right?
Mhm.
Now, no 12-year-old wants to dress like their grandma, right?
Not at all.
It's just not, I don't think even today 12-year-olds want to dress like their grandma, right? And
Nope.
so I had to do the best I could do with that. And I was like, okay, so how do I deal with this? How do I do this without looking like my grandma and yet still feel like a 12-year-old and looking beautiful? Because I mean,
Right.
unfortunately, that's what women go for, right? I mean, that will never change. We want to look beautiful.
Of
And so
course.
I remember thinking, okay, I got to like take this dress that I think is hideous, right, in a 12-year-old's
Mhm.
mind, and I have to feel good in it, right?
Right.
That's where I found my love for jewelry,
Ah, so you
right? And
accessorize.
I accessorize. Yeah. Like I can, I mean, I love jewelry. I mean, I put this, like, this is my, like, I can't leave the house without jewelry.
Ah,
right?
I
I can put
see.
yoga pants and I can go with no makeup, but if I don't have jewelry, I feel like I want to climb under a hole, right? Like I
Got it.
want to be seen. And I don't know where we get this. Like I don't know what it is that women, have their thing, right? Like you
Yes.
were saying mascara or some I know lots of women have to have lipstick on at all times, right?
Right.
I don't know where we find that thing. Mine is jewelry, right?
Yes.
And I feel like that confidence has to come with you to
Mhm.
some degree. It
Yeah.
might not be at its, highest level at all times of your day or at every event that you go to, but you need to have just a little bit of it in order for you to be at your best.
Yeah, I agree. I think to myself, I think back to, and again, our childhood kind of brings everything about our body image into hyper focus because, kids can be mean and they don't always understand what other kids are going through. So it could be a really rough time. But if I think back to some of the kids that may not have had the means to dress in the latest styles, they, the ones that did okay, the ones that were, the ones that didn't let that be the setback for them were the ones that were confident in who they are, as opposed to putting clothes on to be the confidence, right? So you kind of had to learn to do that. Tell my guests, because this is right in line with what you do. Tell our guests what exactly it is that you do.
Right. Okay. So I'm going through a bit of a change with my business.
Hmm.
But I started off with the styling because as a plus size woman, I know it's not easy to go shopping. I get it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I'm looking for one specific outfit and I might have to go, like for a wedding. I mean, we don't buy clothes for weddings all the time. So I might have to go to, 3 or 4 or 12 different stores to
Hmm.
find something that feels good on me. And
Right.
that's not an easy feat. Like, not every woman enjoys shopping. Like, I love shopping, right? I
I
love
hate it.
shopping. Yeah, see, exactly. And so, like, I was started with that. I thought, you know what, women I know have a difficult time, right? And
Hmm.
so I started with styling plus size women.
Right.
And then COVID hit. And during that time, you know, I was starting to see like the struggles in women, right? They would
Hmm.
put on an outfit that I picked for them, that I looked at them and said, oh my God, you look amazing. And they looked in front of the mirror and said, I can't wear this,
Oh.
right? Because so and so is going to judge me, right? I've never worn anything like this before. It doesn't suit
Right.
me. I don't
Right.
feel like myself in it. Right
Right.
now, feeling like myself, you've been wearing unmatching, uncomfortable sweatpants for the last 5 years. Of course,
Right.
it's not going to feel like you, right?
Right. Because it's
But
not you.
because it's not you. And so I really started to notice that most of these women were really hating on themselves. And that
Hmm.
really hurt me, right? Because in order for you to wear an outfit that looks that beautiful and feel as beautiful as the outfit, you need to love what's going on inside,
Right.
right? You
Right.
have to accept yourself for who you are. And so I turned that into self-love coaching.
Got
And
it.
right, and then from there it turned into confidence coaching, because once you love yourself, right, then that confidence muscle is starting to grow and you don't know what to do with it. And so,
Yeah.
but now I'm still doing the confidence because I think women, I mean, I what I'm seeing, women my age, especially 45 and older,
Hmm.
they don't really understand what it's like to feel confident. They've gone through
Mm.
so much life, right?
Yeah.
And they're at a stage in their life where they feel shitty, they feel low energy, they just, I sometimes still I don't want to get out of bed in the morning, right?
Totally. We all
Right.
have those days.
Exactly. We all have those days. And so I'm working on this like a transformation coaching to help women
Okay.
get rid of, limiting beliefs, emotional baggage that we've been carrying for all these years. I think,
Hmm.
and I truly believe that if we can get rid of all that stuff, that confidence will grow.
Yes. And when confidence grows, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean,
Oh,
we can kick our achievements into super high gear and look at all that we would be able to accomplish what about that woman who's 45 plus is just begging for help? What happens in that time, that age range or life events that seems to just zero in on, I need some transformation. This is the time when I could do with some support to build my confidence and so on. What are you seeing?
Yeah, so I'm seeing women that are, their kids are kind of independent now. They're
Hmm.
driving, they're kind of looking after their own schedules. They're not needing mom for anything anymore. Like mom, the manager, has been retired, sort of.
Yes.
She's going through the whole perimenopause thing, and I mean that's an episode on its own, right?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
we've all learned about perimenopause, right? And so now she's feeling like she may not be needed, and she's not very happy with herself because she feels crappy and she thinks that she's done something wrong,
Hmm.
right? And she also knows that, you know, I can't do that. I can't do that. I've never done that before. How can I do that now?
Hmm.
Right? And
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
those are the kind of women that I work with, that are trying to, you know, sort of get over what they've done or what they haven't done and move on to a
Mm.
new phase in their life and accept it,
Yeah.
and really love, what the future might look like.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm in that age range, and I know for me the last few years have been like, all the years prior to these have been focused on taking care of someone else, and not just like for 5 minutes a day high and by. Like, I said to somebody the other day, every decision that I've had to make had to be filtered through who needs me before I could make a decision about what does Hadriana need. Every decision, honest to goodness, even if the decision to step outside and go for a walk, I had to factor in, where do I need to be in this time? Is somebody going to call me and need me to do something? And what do I have to leave undone in order to take care of what Hadriana needs to be done? And I'm finding that now, just like your twins are both driving now, right?
Oh, they're like adults. All my kids are adults now. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, and now we're sitting here thinking, okay, what now? So I'm finding, at least in my experience, this time of my life, it's a time when you look back and you suddenly discover there's a you, there's me who's been in there quietly and patiently, kind of waiting to flourish. When you look at your styling work or your styling experience and your coaching experiences, what do they have in common when you're working with your clients?
Yeah. So at this, so in common, they don't really know what they're doing. Like
Yes,
how many
I can
times, like,
attest to that.
yeah, it, like, since you're like, I don't know, Hadriana, how old your kids are. Mine were, I had twins that were 16, and then I had an 11-year-old, 5 years behind them, and that 11-year-old got neglected, right? But I can't tell you how many times, I asked myself in the 5 years before he was 16, who the hell am I?
Yeah.
I felt like someone different every single day, right? And I did go through depression, and it bothers me so much when I think about it, because I slept a lot in those 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
right? I did
Mm-hmm.
a lot of sleeping, and he saw that. And so when COVID hit, he thought that was an excuse for him to feel the same way.
Ah,
So
wow.
now I'm navigating, who am I? Who do I want to be? How am I going to get there? And I'm
Mhm.
also trying to help this poor child. I call him a child because he's my baby, but he was a teenager, right?
Right,
And he's struggling, right?
right,
You
right,
know,
right.
so yeah, I mean, that's a whole different, but that's the kind of shit, pardon my language, I hope I can use that kind of language. That's the
Let's
kind of
go.
stuff that us women are dealing with, especially
Yeah,
today. COVID hit all of us in different ways. And
yeah.
so, we have to, like you said, think about how we're feeling, right?
Hmm.
What do I need? In order for me to give to the world what I need to give them, what they need from me, how do I navigate me first? Right.
Yes.
And we've all heard that saying, fill my cup. Like, we need to overflow that cup if we consider
Yes.
ourselves a cup, right? Because
Yep.
filling the cup is giving myself what I need before I can give to anyone else. So when
Yeah.
it's overflowing, the overflow is what I can give to you,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
for the longest time, that's not how we've been conditioned.
No,
That's not how, especially as women, the world doesn't expect us to take care of ourselves and then take care of anyone else. No, the world expects us to take care of everyone else. And then maybe if you're lucky enough, you can figure out some way to take care of yourself. And it's like a slap in the face because you're taking care of all these people, but there's no one actually going out of their way to take care of you. You still have to figure out how to take care of you. So nothing gets handed to us on a platter.
exactly.
Do
And
you
you're being
understand?
judged, right?
Yeah,
And you're being judged. Like if
a
you're
hundred
laying on the
percent.
couch because, oh my God, I'm so tired. I just need 5 minutes. How can you take 5 minutes? You have to put, the soup is on the stove. It's going to overboil or there's something, right? And we
Yeah.
do it to ourselves, right? I don't know how
Yes.
many times, I'm like, I got the sauce on the oven or on the stove and I just need to put my feet up for 5 minutes and I actually feel guilty,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why
Yes.
am I feeling guilty? I'm still feeding my family,
Yep.
right?
Everyone's still fine. Everyone's alive. Nobody's gone missing and no one's hurt. It's quite all right for you to sit, put your feet up, catch your breath, and perhaps choose to go again at whatever the task is.
Yeah,
I can definitely see because I mean I'm a coach. A coach is a coach regardless of your specialization. In
right.
my case, I coach and I help people with finances. I help them really create the life they desire and deserve. Okay, so in your case, you are coaching your clients through transformation. What does that journey look like?
Well, I mean, sometimes it's not pretty and
It's
it's,
never pretty, Tina.
yeah, it isn't. And honestly, I like to look at all areas of life, right? I don't look at one specific like family, right?
Mhm.
Because and you know this yourself, when you deal with one part of your life, it needs to as you change, it
Yeah.
that change is a ripple and it affects the entire wheel of life,
Yes.
right? So I deal with nine categories, like nine areas of life. And
Mhm.
I like to see change in one woman in all of those areas.
Right.
Right
Right.
now, it doesn't look as easy as that sounds, right?
Oh,
As
yeah.
you clearly already know as a coach, right? It's not like, okay, so today we're going to make this change and all of a sudden your whole life changes. It doesn't work like that, right?
Right.
You focus on one area of life at a time, right? So in your case, you deal with wealth, right? Now, I don't, do you consider it wealth or do you consider it finances? Because in my world, they're two different things.
Yeah, for me, it is wealth as it was initially defined, which is being well. And the focus is seeing how money intersects with your wellness. So for me, wealth is not a target, it is the journey. That is life. That's us being
That's
well.
life. Yeah.
But yeah, I can see, I know the wheel. I am familiar with the wheel. Definitely, they are aspects that integrate and there are cross sections definitely.
Oh, for sure. Well, I mean, it's a circle, right? And so
Yeah.
they all start from the middle, right? And so that's kind of where you are, right? You're in the middle. And
Mhm.
how do you spoke yourself out to the outside of the wheel? Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's
Yeah.
right, that's right. So the transformation, agreed, it's messy. How do you kind of calm that? Because one, I know for one thing I promise in my delivery is I'll from each through each session, I promise to never leave you in a dark place. I can just and that's when we're dealing again, we're leading with the wealth elements. So I can just imagine, Tina, your clients are dealing with low confidence. They're dealing with overwhelm. They're dealing with really, really poor self esteem. Some root stories from Lord knows how long ago, you're having to help them unearth some of that and deal with it. How do you get them to not get stuck in those weeds? Because I would not listen, if you open that can of worms, you have to find a way to close it because no, how do you do it?
Well, okay, so that's part of the problem, right? We close that can,
Mm,
right? We have to let the worms out, right? That's basically what I do. I take those worms. Sometimes it's one by one, and
yeah,
unfortunately, sometimes you need to live in the shit, right? Sometimes
yes.
you need to live that darkness for a a part of the time. Now,
Hmm.
the big dark, really the deep root cause, we don't want to live in that for too long, right?
Yes.
And I don't do trauma, right? I don't do like major trauma. I do root cause coaching to get to those those worms, right?
Right.
But you keep in mind, at 45 years and older, we've been suppressing those worms for a long time. And
Yeah.
so they need to come out. You need to live in that for a little time,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It
You know
isn't, it's,
what?
yeah,
I actually had a client one time. We were peeling back. I refer to it as peeling back the layers of the onion to get to that core. And a little bit, maybe a month or two into our sessions, I had to release her to focus on psychotherapy because there are limits to what I can do. But the truth is, as you peel some things back, you may need specialized
yes,
assistance that might be outside of my scope. And I always say, you know what? If you have to pay for my service and pay for a psychotherapist, that might be burdensome. So take the time and work with a psychotherapist so you don't deal with certain issues that might be outside of your scope. Um, what would a woman be experiencing that would say, I need Tina, but maybe not yet therapy, so I can
right.
talk to Tina?
Yeah, and so okay, so lots of times we're dealing with memories, like I call them stupid memories. Like for example, I had one of my own personal experiences came up in a coaching session with my own coach, and it was something that happened when I was 10. And
Mm-hmm.
when I think about it, it was like so dumb, right? Like it was such a dumb experience that I had actually even forgotten about. But I
Right.
kept bringing up this emotion and this feeling and these thoughts. And she's like, where is this coming from? So she got me to go inside and, talk with my unconscious. And this is the memory that came up. And even
Wow.
while I'm talking about it, I was like, this is so dumb. Like, this is over. Like, this was over. I had forgotten about it. I don't judge my uncle for whatever happened,
But
but
was it actually over?
it
That's the
wasn't
thing.
actually over. And so sometimes we don't think about what it is. We don't know what it is until we really, like, someone has to guide you through that,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I deal with things like, well, I can't do that because, I have a bad money story. You know that story, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
if you're not familiar with your money story, get familiar with it, because that money story is affecting the rest of your world, right?
Yes.
That's the way I look at that, right? The way we look at money is the way we look at so many things in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like one time I read a book, the way we eat is also the way we spend money, right?
Yeah.
And I was
Yep.
like, oh, that's so stupid, right? And then I got to thinking about it, and I'm like, hold on a minute. I
Yep.
do spend what goes in, like what my bank account looks like is also what my pantry looks like,
Aha. There
right?
you go.
Yeah. And so I was like, so there's so many things that are intertwined and interconnected that we don't even realize, right? And so those are the kinds of things that I like to look at.
Yeah. And then tell me, what kinds of transformations are you creating? What have you seen? So if you can think of like the client, your star clients in the last little while that had just your best pupil, what kinds of results are we seeing from this transformation coaching?
Right. So I love the story. You see a woman, you have like I'm going to call it a networking event because I don't really know a better word, but it was like there's like this event that I attended, you know, like before COVID, and you'd
Hmm.
see those same people most of the time, right?
Yes.
And one woman would come in, and you could tell she was super shy, super not confident in herself. She came in, she got her ticket and went straight to her chair, right? And then
Uh-huh.
she sat there and she allowed people to come to her, but she didn't start conversations. She was just there because she liked the information that was going to be shared at the event.
Right.
And as I work with her, and I build that confidence, and I allow her to set that, the all those emotions and all that stress and the worms, we'll say today,
Yeah.
as we let them out of the can and we really let her see herself for who she really is, she's now walking into the room like she owns the room. Like,
Yes.
she not only wants to be there, she belongs there. She deserves to be there. Right? Those are the kind of transformations that I'm making.
Yeah, yeah. And it starts on the inside. You know, what's your take? And I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. What's your take on fake it till you make it?
Well, you know what? It depends on the day, I'll be honest, because sometimes we do have to fake it. Sometimes we're just not feeling it, right? And
Right,
so sometimes you need to put on the outfit and you need to, hold your head up high and not feel it. Because at the end
right.
of the day, nobody else in the room really knows how you're feeling.
And very few actually care. Let's just
and
be
and,
honest.
and well, and that's so true too. But I find, and I know this for myself, I can dress myself up because I planned the outfit. I planned I'm going to be at the event no matter what, so I'm going to do the best I can.
Right.
Right? Nobody has to know how I'm feeling. So but I find when I fake it till I make it, the make it happens. Right? Like, if I
Ah,
tell myself I'm going to go to the event, I'm going to dress the way I planned, and I'm just going to put on the face. I won't, if I don't need to talk to anybody, it might even be better for me. But I find when I get there, I want to be that person.
right,
Right. And
right.
so it kind of just grows like this. It's like the sun has come out. Right.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
it starts off
Yeah,
on a cloudy day, and all of a sudden, you're around the people. You have to be there anyway. You might as well make the best of it.
you might as well. You've spent the money, you've made the plans, you might as well make the best of it. I think where I don't like the fake it till you make it, when you start telling yourself the stories that are not true. When you're holding on to, fine, fine, I'm just fine. But the person you're trying to convince is yourself. Mm-mm. I think we run into a lot of problems because what in my mind, if I'm out and I'm doing something that I might not feel like doing, to me that's not faking it. To me that's just getting through it. I'm just doing what I have to do to get through it. When I start doing that to myself, when I start telling myself stories or trying to affirm my way or mantra my way into feeling the way I'm not instead of dealing with the feeling, I think that is detrimental. Have you seen that play out, or have you seen that kind of trying to do that surface work instead of going deep? And how has that worked out for some of the clients that you've worked with?
Yeah. Well, I mean, superficial is superficial, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's coming to my mind right now. You know, we can put on a face for only so long,
Yeah.
right? And so, um, if you don't deal with the stuff that's coming up, you can only push it down for so long.
Yeah.
Eventually, and I think that's why I hit the depression, right? Was because eventually those feelings, they are boiling up. They're boiling and boiling. And if they don't show up in your body as illness, they're going to show up in your mind. They're going to show up in
Yeah.
your character, right?
Yeah.
And maybe both, right? I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's the reality of these feelings, right? We need to deal with them because if we don't, we get sick, right? And we get sick in different ways. I mean, we don't all get cancer. We don't all get, diabetes. We don't all get, physical ailments like that. But our mind, right? We start to
Yeah.
like lose our mind, right? We're not,
Literally.
yeah, like obvious, like there's times where people, I don't want to be with that person. She's a Debbie Downer, right? Or she has too much energy for me. Those are signs that we are not dealing with our feelings, right? Someone who's
Right.
high energy, always high energy. Like I mean, let's face it, those are not real people,
Yeah,
right?
well,
Like
part of that part of
to
that
some
is
degree, yes, right? But then,
personality, but then the
right,
other part that's a constant go 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 go, that is unrealistic and unsustainable. So you have to ask yourself, if that's me, who am I pretending to be? Who am I trying to be,
exactly.
and why?
And why? So this is the biggest thing, right? Why are we doing this? Why don't we want people to know that we're struggling? Why don't we want, like, why don't I want to admit to myself that I'm struggling?
Right.
Right? I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. Why? Why don't I want to get out of bed? What is missing? Right? What do
Yeah.
I need to make me want to get out of bed? What do I need to make the light that fire underneath me? Right?
Right. Right. Right.
Where did I lose the passion? What is the passion? Where can I find it? How can I get it back?
Do you ever find that to some degree, it might be nutritional support? Is it ever that simple?
So I've learned, I try to follow Ayurveda. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but basically it's the science of life and it is based on nature, right?
Hmm.
Nutrition has a huge part to do with it. It's not
Right.
how much we're eating, right? It's
Yeah.
what we're eating. It's the
Right.
quality of what we're eating, right? And so this is a hard this was has been very very difficult for me because I love to eat, right?
Okay.
But what I've come to realize is what I love to eat is not what's best for my body,
Right.
right?
Right.
So that has a huge, and I'm not alone. I know that,
Oh
right?
no.
And I know there's super thin women out there that are struggling the same way,
Yep.
right?
A
Like,
hundred percent.
yeah, like I met this lady the other night. We were on a meeting, and I was the host of the meeting said, "What did you have for supper tonight?" And I was like, "Seriously, I don't want to tell people that I had pizza for supper." But I freely said I had pizza for supper. Yes, I know it was wrong. I shouldn't have had it, right? Pizza's not a healthy food for me.
Right.
And this lady who was very thin and looks to me to be very healthy, she
Right.
started laughing and she said, "Tina, I'm so glad you admitted that because I had toast with a ton of butter on for supper." And I was like, "Oh, thank God I'm not alone," right? So it's, like we have to know what is right for our bodies and not just food, right? It's about
Yeah.
nutrition, it's about what we're intaking, right? In
Yeah.
all aspects, like what we're touching and what we're hearing and seeing, all of that stuff. Like, who likes listening to the news? Right? Nobody wants to listen well, I shouldn't say nobody wants to listen to the news, but it's not healthy for us.
It's not, and we overconsume it so much. I see it a lot, especially I work with seniors in my volunteer role. They put that thing on and it's on all day, and you wonder why their outlooks are so dreary and sad, and they're dealing with depression. They're not going out. Their exercise is limited because it's CNN and Fox News and
And
CTV
it's
and all
all
the
so
rest.
negative, right? It's
Very
all so
negative.
negative, right? How many
Very
times do
negative.
you turn the news on and they're talking about positive things that are happening? It's always the last 30 seconds of the episode, right? You know,
Yeah.
they now and that's because, they've had to change that so that it's not all negative,
Yeah,
right?
but
How is
they're
that
not.
healthy?
Yeah, that's not healthy for us.
No.
But I totally see that because when you were talking about the nutrition, in fact, my own personal journey uh, reminded me and continues to remind me that a lot of our progress, a lot of our goal achievement, it's not because we don't fail at it because, or we were not challenged by it because we don't know what to do, because we do know what to do. It's like you and the pizza. We know what we should be having. We know what we should be doing. We know what the steps should be, and kind of what that might look like in putting together a healthy plate, let's say. That's not the problem. It's not knowledge that's the problem. It's that connection to activate the knowledge. And I always say to people, if you know what to do and you find yourself not doing it, it's time to get a coach. It's time to get
Absolutely.
some support because there is a glitch, and it's not about know how, it's about activation. So when you're dealing with confidence, transformation, when you're trying to help women, actually activate the part of themselves that has been neglected for so long, what are some of the steps that you take, or what are some of the perhaps you can share with us a little exercise that you probably do that kind of helps maybe connect something that might be disconnected? Just as an example, I'd love to
Right.
something.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm going to just like explain that a little bit. I like how you explained how it's not the knowing. We all have the knowledge, right?
Yes.
Like, I know how to lose weight. I know how to
Yes.
lose weight, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I think every overweight person in the world could tell you exactly how to lose weight, right?
Yes,
We are
ma'am.
not dumb. We get it. We know what we have to do. But what happens is the conscious mind has the idea, right? They make so the conscious mind is known as the goal setter, right?
Right.
The conscious mind wants to lose weight. The
Right.
unconscious mind is the actual go getter.
Aha.
So, what we need to do is we tell the unconscious mind, we put the unconscious mind in that vision of where you want to be, right? I want to be, I'm going to throw this number 125 pounds. Now,
Hmm.
that it really it's not ideal because probably not anybody should be 125 pounds as an adult. I
Yeah,
don't know.
and that's a personal physiology
Exactly. But I'm
exploration,
going
but
to throw
let's
that
just
number
say,
out there. Yeah, I'll just say
yeah.
I'm going to be 125 pounds. What we need to do is we need to show the unconscious mind we are that person at 125 pounds. The unconscious mind wants to see what you're doing, what you're feeling, right? How you look. It needs to actually see you in that 125-pound body.
Right.
Then it knows where it's going,
Right.
right? The conscious mind makes that 125 goal possible, but the unconscious mind will get you there,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
so we need the four bodies, right? We have the intuition, and lots of women that I know are not in touch with their intuition, and
Right.
that's something that we all have to learn to, because our intuition knows,
Yes.
right?
We
Our
know.
intuition knows what we need and how we need it,
Yep.
right? Then we have the ego, we have the inner child, and the inner critic. Those are the four minds that we all live with every single day.
And
And so
they don't
what
always play nice.
no, the intuition will always be kind, but not always like it's not always like, what's the word? Maybe it's not always kind, but it's always simple, right? Like it knows the intuition knows what it needs, but it's gonna give you that boost that's like, hey, you are in the wrong direction, you're going the
Yes.
wrong way, right?
Right.
The inner critic and the ego, we know, right?
Right.
It's not always happy, right? The inner
Right.
critic for sure is always like telling you, you are so wrong,
Right.
right? And then that inner child is usually the one that is having that tantrum inside. i
Yeah.
call I call her my terrible Tina, right? She's the one that's always looking for specific attention. I'm like, geez, not now, right?
Your every decision, like,
Yes.
yes, no, not today.
Well, do you ever have a discussion with someone, and I do this with my daughter, where she's like, it's like she's being stubborn for whatever reason, she's not understanding me, she's not listening, or I think she's not, right? And inside I'm like, I feel this little like, I just want to like put my hands around her neck and like, listen to me, right? And then I have to sort of sit back and go, wait a minute, when you were 23, how were you acting? Like, how were you like,
Yes.
was someone telling you how to do something and you refused, right? So I'm like, okay, that's terrible Tina coming out, right? Like,
Yes.
because I'm sure I did the same with my mom at
Of
23,
course. Of
right?
course.
So, yeah, but I'm aware of that, right?
Yes.
As I've gone through the coaching, I'm aware of that. Not everyone is aware of that.
Yeah, and I think that's a big consideration as well, because when we're unaware, we're operating without enough information. We're operating at a disadvantage. And as much as, all these four elements of ourselves have may have ways of kind of shutting us down, they all have a role. They each have a role that contributes to us being whole and being well. So you don't necessarily want to shut any of them down, but you need to know, why is that critic telling me that thing about myself that I really don't care to hear? You need to hear it, but you need to put it in the slot where it becomes beneficial for you and it doesn't actually hold you back. It doesn't scare you. It needs to know when to speak up. Now you can speak up. Now you need to shut up. It's not your,
Right.
you don't have the stick. It's not your turn to share.
That's right. And I did have a coach one time tell me to have a meeting with all four of your minds every
Mm-hmm.
night. And
Oh,
it's okay to tell them, right? When I'm speaking with this person or with that person, I don't want you to interrupt me.
I love that
Right
idea.
now, I have a hard time with it. I'm going to be honest, right? Like talking to myself, looking in the mirror, talking to myself is one thing, but closing my mouth and having this conversation with my brain
Yeah.
feels strange, right?
Okay. Okay.
But it works.
You know
It,
what? I that might be, so I do meditation. I do it and I found it's, listen, I have a partner who talking is not his thing. Okay? So I need a way to get my mind to process things. So I go through the day like having both sides of a conversation essentially in my own head. When I meditate, I can shut everything off, and then what happens is I can choose, so I can control, okay, I'm thinking now, okay, we're not thinking. I've learned that skill. What I can do now is, in your coach's advice, this could be a time, a great space where you can invite these different elements of how I identify myself, the four minds. Invite them in. Like, I want intuition, because most often I sit with intuition when I do meditations. But honestly, I do not invite that critic anywhere near that space, because I find myself to easily listen to my inner critic. It's just part of my personality, how I'm made up. And then let the inner child run free a little bit. Be a little petty. Be a
exactly.
little, let it
And
loose a
give
little
her
bit.
what she wants. Like if she wants you to go play in the puddle when it's raining outside, go play in the puddle. Right?
Yes.
Make her happy. It's okay, right? And
Yeah.
and honestly, and I what I notice, especially women our age, uh, you know, that inner critic is the loudest voice in your head.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Hmm.
that inner critic is guiding your world, and it's up to me, right? It's up to me, as like I need to tell my inner critic, I'm safe. I'm not
Yeah.
going to do anything
It's
that's going to hurt
okay.
me, right?
Right.
If you just sit back and allow me to do what I want to do, you too will see that I'll be fine,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It just came to my mind that the whole idea of that inner critic often being the loudest, I'm thinking that that had to have been conditioned in us. I'm thinking
Absolutely.
like we were born, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this. I'm feeling that our intuition would have been that thing that naturally led us if we had not been conditioned otherwise. Is that
Exactly.
what you're learning? Is that what you're seeing?
100%. 100%. So I'm going to give you an example. When I was growing up, nobody ever said to me, you know, what do you really think? Like what do you really feel about that, right? What does your
Hmm.
gut
Hmm.
say? Nobody ever
Yes,
said that to me. I
that's right.
learned what the gut feeling was as I got older. My daughter, when she was 20 or 21, she ended up in a narcissistic relationship with a very nasty young man.
Hmm.
And she had her first two dates, she had a bad stomach ache,
Ah,
right? And she said, Mom, what do you think that means? Now, the way she explained it to me, of course, I didn't know he was nasty at the time, but I said, it's butterflies. You're nervous. You should be nervous. You don't know this boy, right?
right, right.
And as the relationship went on, that stomach ache never really went away. And she
Oh,
said to me, like, something's not right. And I said, your body is telling you that this is not the guy for you. And then when
Right.
all the bad stuff happened, she was like, "Oh my God, mom, that's what it was. You were right. Like my body was telling me this guy is wrong for me." And I said,
Yeah.
from now on, like you're lucky that this happened and nothing really major happened. I mean,
Right.
she's going to hold on to a lot of stuff for probably the rest of her life. But the
Right.
reality is, she was young enough, she got out of it soon enough that, she can move on.
Right.
I said, but
Right.
this is a great lesson that you need to listen to your body. And
Yeah.
I know that in Japan, they say, like, I don't know how they say it, but when, what do you really think? They actually touch their stomach, right?
Yes.
And it's a sign that not only are they thinking logically, but they're thinking with their full body,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it's that gut feeling, right? That we said,
And
oh,
you
you
listen.
need to
I think
listen.
it's our body is speaking, but we're not listening.
Yeah,
We're trying to come at everything from that logical black and white perspective, when there are so many truths, so much exploring, so many discoveries to be made. If we can just tune in to what that inner voice is saying, because like we said, like at the top of this, when we started this conversation, we know. We actually know. Now it's a question of just listening. You know what? This has
and
been,
learning. So that's the biggest thing.
yeah,
Every experience, every thought, there's a learning behind it. So when your inner critic says don't do that, you need to be curious, right?
yes.
Why? What is going to go wrong? What can go right? What, right? It's learning. We need to know there's learnings in everything.
What are you trying to protect me from? And can I show you that I'm okay? I don't need to be protected in this scenario. And the inner critic doesn't usually, sometimes, I guess, sometimes you can feel that in the body, but I find it's more the gut, the intuition that speaks through those. Anyway, I
We
think a lot of people are different. What I find is some people feel it as butterflies, other people feel it like a little bit of a jab, not stabbing, but just, you need to learn
It's
your
different for
body.
everyone.
You need to understand, that feeling, the when the hair on the back of your neck stands up, you
That's
know
your intuition. Exactly.
that's right. And there's a reason why it's so popular, but we toss it aside. We're like, oh, I just have a chill. Well, no, if you put that chill, quote, quote
Well,
unquote, if you put that
again,
chill together with when it shows up, it was not a cool breeze that blew by you.
that's
This
right.
was something else. So
Yeah,
I think it's really important. I'm so glad. Well, I shouldn't say I'm glad your daughter had this experience, because I'm sure it involves some trauma, but with the right tools, she can work through it. I'm
exactly.
glad she experienced her gut speaking. I'm glad she experienced intuition, and now she can approach a number of different experiences, things, encounters, things that she will have, and she will recognize, oh, something's off here. Let me tune into, another identity to perhaps find some guidance, and let me explore what's going
Exactly.
on, what might be happening. And then you go that way. I think it's brilliant. I wish more young people, especially young women, learned better to tap
Me
into
too.
that intuition.
Me too. And I always, I really probe her to share that with her friends, right? Like,
Yeah.
let people know what happened to you so that they too can start to listen to their body, because we all have it.
Yeah.
Like, it's all a part of us, right? It's a
Yeah.
matter of us, tuning into it and really listening.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've been taught not to trust our feelings. And I can understand to some degree, you don't want to be led by, the passing feelings, but intuition is not a feeling.
it's not,
Intuition
it's
is
a
a
knowing.
guide.
It's a
It's a
guide.
knowing. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's that inner knowing. It's that guide. Okay, so we're just gonna wrap up real quick here, Tina. I mean, we could keep going and we can definitely keep talking about this. But if there was one thing that you could leave with our audience today, if there was one thing that you could kind of download into that person who's watching or listening today, what would that be?
There's so many things that I want women to know, right? But the truth is, okay, so self-love is number one, right? So you need to love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love someone else
Right.
fully, and you
Right.
cannot move forward, right? You need to self-love means, accepting who you are at all times, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to feel sad, it's okay to feel happy, right? And it's okay to look the way you look,
Right.
right? You just need to embrace it.
Right, right, right. I guess that's a great place to start in our development and in our transformation. And it's a great spot to wrap up this episode. Self love. If we can love ourselves, we can then love the world around us. And that's the ripple we want spreading out across the entire
100%.
universe.
Yes, absolutely. This has been great, Adriana. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Tell me where I can find you. Where can our guests find you on the interwebs? I know they're going to want to get in touch. So, where are you?
Yeah, so I'm in Edmonton, Canada, like I said, in Full Bloom Styling on Instagram and Facebook.
Mhm.
And my website is www.infullbloomstyling.com.
There you go. There you go. So, I'm excited to see your coaching just blossom and bloom as your styling did and beyond. And I'm really thankful that you took the time to be here with us, Tina. I am looking forward to getting more inspiration from you on your channels. And I think we have some more we can talk about. So I'm hoping you can come again.
I love to chat. So yeah, we have lots to talk about.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thank
Well,
you so
thanks
much.
again, my dear.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and to all of my viewers, my guests are always happy to be here, and I'm always so thrilled to bring them to you. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day. See you on the next episode of Catalyst Conversations. Bye now. Thank you for joining me today on Catalyst Conversations. I hope this episode sparked something powerful to help on your journey to building wealth confidently and unapologetically. If you love today's conversation, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if something resonated with you, I'd love to hear about it. Let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, keep moving toward your goals, stay empowered, and continue sparking change on your wealth journey. This is Adriana, and you've been listening to Catalyst Conversations.